Have you ever noticed the moment you walk into the room with your parents, or just get a phone call, or even think about them, you forget you're an adult? Your defenses go up, and you suddenly shrink inside. That shrinking feeling is the emotional Wi Fi from your family still running in your emotional, mental system. In this video, I want to explore 13 ways you're still living as that scared inner child around your family and parents, and how to finally begin reclaiming your adult self. I'm Jerry Wise, and for over 45 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of people get their dysfunctional family programming out of them so they can finally become their true self through the powerful work of self-differentiation. Let me start with number 13 and then head down to number 1. You instantly shrink in their presence and lose your sense of power when you're near your narcissistic or dysfunctional parents. And I also try to help people understand this loss of power and how it's still operating in you even when your parents are not around. It just shows up in different ways. You may not feel the same way as when you're with your parents, but it doesn't mean that pattern or dynamic is still not working in you. And that's what I try to help people understand, because if they could understand that more, they would have more leverage in how they operate with their parents and also other relationships. As human biological creatures, we have the emotional and mental wiring to our family systems, which is biological, psychological, neurological, and genetic. Programmed since birth, we learn the emotional patterns of our families. Number 12, being around your parents triggers old survival patterns like defensiveness, over-explaining, or going silent. Often we return to our highly charged family and respond like there's a tiger in the room. We may not show it, but we are experiencing it, and we are waiting to become reactive. There are many, many, many people who are afraid of their parents and families. Some who have some level of maybe smaller amount of anxiousness, all the way up to terror. Anxiety causes us to talk too much or talk too little, to be defensive, to act funny or in funny ways, to feel shy, or to go silent, and many, many more ways than this. First, we learn to recognize the anxiety. Then we explore how do we express that anxiety when we are experiencing it. You may find it hard to stop the anxiety early in your recovery, because just changing our feelings is not easy to do. However, we can move more quickly in learning how to stop over-explaining or to avoid defensive words or behavior. It may be difficult to stop or change the anxiety, but we can work on what we do after we feel the anxiety. And in time, the anxiety feelings will follow and be reduced because you will gain more self-regulation. If I stop over-explaining, believe it or not, I may just start to become less anxious because I'm feeling anxious. I then start over-explaining, then I feel anxious, I then feel defensive, then I feel more anxious. So if we can stop the external expressions of our anxiety, it can help us to calm down internally. If this sounds like you, there's a free self-differentiation training I offer that helps you get these old survival patterns out of you so you can finally be your true differentiated self. Number 11. You keep chasing the love and approval your parents never gave you as a child. Scared kids become scared adults. We often hang on to get what we never got, and we're still just that scared child. We fear never getting the love and approval from our parents. We pursue it in open ways and in hidden ways with pleasing behaviors. We may scan and see how everybody's doing and respond to the scanning that we do to check out how parents are doing and how they're feeling. We try to read the needs of our parents or others. We may have toxic empathy because that may win us some love or approval, and many other ways. We, as adults, often do not view our parents in an adult to adult way, but as a child to an adult way. And that's common for many, many adults. I don't care if you're president of a large company, or I don't care if you work hard at delivering pizzas. You still may feel that child parent relationship with your parents. So it doesn't matter what level of success, happiness, money, what your socioeconomic state or your state of education. You can have 2 PhDs and still be afraid of your parents. And they might even be PhDs in psychology and sociology. And you still have some fear of your parents. Your parents don't become Frank and Suzanne, but stay mom and dad, or even stronger, mommy and daddy. It's not what we call them that's the problem. It is how I perceive my relationship to them. It's okay to say mom and dad. I'm not comfortable saying mommy and daddy, but in some places, in different areas of the country, that might be more normal. Whatever you call them, we still want to work to help ourselves think of ourselves as an equal adult to our parents. You are an equal adult. They may be older than you. I understand that, but that doesn't make them more of an adult than you are. An adult is an adult. Maybe they have some different experiences that you don't have. That's fine. But we don't have to treat them in a way where we diminish ourselves. Number 10, you feel terrified of disappointing your parents, and their disapproval still hits like it did when you were very little. Fear of disappointing our parents and family follows children into adulthood. You get the look. You get the scowl, the rolled eyes, the silent treatment, the anger, the shaming, the criticism. All of these feel like they go in my head and down my spine. Number 9, you feel like a bad kid for setting boundaries with your parents, no matter how old you are. Boundary guilt, as I call it, happens to all those who grow up in dysfunctional families. Boundaries equal being offensive or hurtful. Just set a boundary and just see how people respond. They feel like you're attacking them personally, or you're hurting them, or you're being offensive in some way. A parent asks you, "Hey son, how are you and your wife getting along now?" I know she can be unreasonable. "Mom, I think it's better if I discuss this with our couples counselor." "Well, I was only asking. I'm your mother." And again, there's the feeling of entitlement that because she changed your diaper when you were an infant, she should have the same access to you, your body, and all of your life because she had that access then. Number 8, you show up to a family event or stay in contact out of guilt, but not out of genuine desire, just to keep peace with your parents. We are avoidant of their anger and disapproval. We're 50 years old, and we still are required to show up with all of your family, your kids, your wife, your husband, each Sunday for dinner at the same time, unless there's a very, very good reason why you can't. But it better be a pretty good reason. And if we don't show up and don't have what the family considers a good reason, we have guilt. We may attend these events, but we feel bored, ignored, criticized. We may have to watch the golden child show off and endure the other family members acting out. We feel we cannot challenge family traditions set by parents and grandparents. You and your spouse end up arguing every holiday about family traditions that were not her family traditions or his family traditions, and the struggle to have your own family traditions and your relationship. Number 7, you slip back into old roles like scapegoat, golden child, caretaker when you're around your parents. I don't feel these ways when I go back to work or in other environments, you might say. I feel much more balanced. But when I am around my family, there are strong Wi-Fi pulls to resume my role and to resume my behavior and the way I think and feel and express myself. And I must do that in certain ways in my family, or they will be disapproving. So if you are the golden child and you don't like that position, and believe it or not, there are some golden children who don't like it. If you are a golden child, focus on all the struggles you are having in your life. when you're with your family. If you are the caretaker in the family, focus on all the ways you need help. If you're the scapegoat, pretend you're not. Envision you not being the scapegoat. What would you say and what would you do? How would you act? Or as a scapegoat, indulge the way they think, but differentiate. And that would be like the statement of playfully saying, well, I'm probably wrong, but this is how I see it. And then explain. And again, I said I was probably wrong because I'm indulging their view of me as the scapegoat. But I don't believe it. I'm just going along with how they probably would view me. And if I'm intentional about it, it tends to break the neurotic pattern of me wanting to resist it. I'm probably wrong. In other words, that's the way you guys will probably think. But this is how I see that situation differently than you do. Number 6, you censor your truth to avoid emotional fallout with your parents. You may find yourself shaving the truth, altering your values, pretending to believe things you don't believe, pretending to share your parents' values to avoid a conflict at any cost. It was difficult to say to my mother, Mom, you and I don't share the same beliefs about God, about hell, or about the church. I will respect your beliefs. Please respect mine. And if you cannot do that, if we cannot respect each other's beliefs, then we must not have that as anything we discuss. It must never come up. And if we do, I will say, hey, that's not what we talk about. I'm not going to talk about religion with you. And if you continue to talk that way, I may need to take my leave. I will see you later. For daily reminders on how to be your true self and heal from family dysfunction, I share simple tips on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And feel free to join that community anytime. Number 5, you still long for your parents to finally see and understand you. As scapegoats, we were the target or became invisible and still are as adults. We are that scared little child. This created a hunger for us to be seen and to be understood. This dynamic follows us into adulthood. Do you see ways your hunger to be seen and understood stands out today in your marriage, in your relationships, at work, in organizations, with your siblings? Number 4, you obsess over past conversations with your parents, trying to make sense of what happened. Our inner scared child ruminates over our childhood interactions and events and traumas. We often will question our memory. It can be confusing because the parents may have changed over the years. Maybe mom got worse and dad got better, and vice versa. Did I deserve that treatment? Did I deserve that abuse or not? They were only trying to raise a difficult child, me, but regardless, they were still cruel, and I don't like to think about my parents as cruel. So we ruminate about all those kinds of thoughts and beliefs. These mental and emotional conflicts can continue well into adulthood and even for a lifetime. I have clients who are in their 70s asking these same questions. Number 3, you freeze or regress emotionally during conflict with your parents, like you're back in childhood. Our inner child does not have the strong support of ourselves and many times or of others, so our inner child folds or regresses or freezes. I always felt it would be the end of the world. Conflict equals rejection is my scared child's view of the world. It equals rejection, abandonment. Someone has to be right, someone has to be wrong, and that's very frightening because is it me or is it them? And since I'm uncertain about myself, I don't know who's right. As a result, I would just take my inner child and go sit at the kids' table in life. Number 2, you start doubting your clarity and confidence when you're around your parents, no matter how much healing you've done. What is clear to us as adults feels mushy and uncertain when we are around our parents or our family. I fear being wrong, so I question and doubt all of my thoughts and feelings. If I were at work, if I'm talking to my spouse, if I'm talking to someone else, I may not feel that same lack of confidence. But boy, that family super self and the family Wi-Fi really can take over once I connect with them again. Number one, you lose touch with your adult self and feel like a scared child again when you're in the presence of your parents. It could be easy for us to become invisible again as scared children. My adult child takes a walk, or my adult side takes a walk, leaving me to deal with my parents. So often I will abandon myself around my parents. I don't stand up for myself. I let myself just be thrown out to the wolves. And many times we will blame our parents for that discomforting feeling, but we've actually abandoned ourselves, and then we may blame them for how we're feeling. My scared child lacks self-confidence, self-support, self-acceptance, and self-love. How scary it was to disagree with Mom's dream of my brother and I becoming best friends. I'm sorry, Mom, Jim and I have never gotten along. I'm okay with that, because then it made it harder to hold on to that dream for her. So she would have to stop pushing me towards my brother. She would so often say, have you called your brother? Have you talked to your brother? And I'm going, well, did you tell him to call me? The phone works both ways. But I was always the one that felt kind of pushed. I don't know how much she pushed him, but I know she did push me. If you are ready to finally break free and start living with emotional freedom, inner peace, and healthy relationships, then join my free 84-minute training. I really think it could be of help. Over 30,000 people have already joined. Click the link in the description and access the free training now. And if you're looking for a deeper step-by-step process, join my Road to Self program. Many of those who have joined Road to Self say it was the missing piece of their healing journey that helped them get their family out of them and finally stand strong as their true selves. I do want to say there are many testimonials on the website. Those are all real and connected to a real person. I will never put up fake testimonials. So I want to say, take a look at those and see how it's affected other people. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss a new video. I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day and be wise.